So this is where I went to India. No, before I went to India, this is where God's, I think God will put you some people in your life for a reason, for sure. When your heart is really seeking for Him, um, when your heart is pure. I think that's what happened for me. So at this time, I'm I met one person. Uh, I can say he is my bestie for my life. I would say he's like a he's my bestie. So I met this person. I think just two. It's I I know him just 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Physically, I know him, the place where I'm. So the reason I've been pulled to this person is just his grace in the face, like that you know that blessedness, that he's so peaceful, he's so blissful. For me, that immediately pulled it, how come a person is that blush of that happiness in the face. So then I used to, for me, automatically, the question of, how come you're so peaceful, where that is coming from. He always says, yeah, my God, my prayer and all. But I was not anti to anything to be heard of. But he never he never talked to me about the Bible verses, or he never talked to me directly about Jesus Christ, right? But whatever the belief and the faith he has in his words, that pulled me to listen to him. Like, like it's like like a kind of a magnet, right? So because I was in so much pain of the time, and the blessedness, the peace in him made me to. He doesn't have enough money as me or my my fellow friends has, because we are kind of a working good, right? Working good in years and making good money, but he is not up to that mark. But still, he is so peaceful. He is so blissful. So that's the only question, how come that happens, right? But he used to tell me a couple of stories in the form, which are the form of the Bible stories, which are like, especially the women stories, like a Ruth story and all, in a different way, where I was listening to that, where I was listening and get my strength back from those, from those words. Like, it's not that I am like a weaker part of it, which I am trying to lean on him, but it's a truth, right? I think whoever talks something good, which makes your heart listening to that, I think that's where we want it to be get strengthened from, right? That's what I think it happened for me. And it's it's his blessedness on the face, and the happiness in his, you know the way he is leading the life, that is the only pull for me to listen to him. So it's just a 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. We know them, we know each other personally. After that, I went to India. After that, I went to India, and I think that time he started praying for me, but I never be part of his prayer. I don't know how the prayer he will do and all, because there was a clash discussion between me and him one day. I think I prepared some food based on my festival, and I wanted to give him. He said he doesn't want to eat it because it's every day is his own God day. He will celebrate the way. So that's where the clash, why not, why can't, right? That's where my question. And he's like, no, that's okay. I don't want to take it, so right. So but I think he started praying for me for sure that time. And then I went to India with my kids. And uh, I think that time I lost my job. There is no job, nothing, I think, yeah, the family life is going in a different direction. It's already decided that I went back. So for me, what is the future? I have no clue. Where should I stay back in India or come back here? I have no job, nothing. So two kids I have, on my side. I have to take care of them, and then these anxieties are still hitting, but not up to like that, like not up to the mark of what before. And one day, I went on my terrace to do some kind of that breath work, right? That Shambhavi Mudra, whatever the thing I follow, like kind of breath work. So uh, I went up, like as usual, I was sitting and trying to do that work. And then actually the day this is going to happen at midnight, like around 1:30, I had a very, very, very severe anxiety attack. I never had that intensive anxiety attack, so I had to rush from my home to the terrace in the midnight, like around 1:30, 2 o'clock, with lot of it's not working for me. Even the breath is like uncontrollable. I have no clue. Normally, it used to be like a couple of seconds, and then when I have that breath or when I see the light, like things will calm down. But that day, that particular day, was like it put me like almost like more than a minute. My heart was like pumping up, pumping up. I have no clue what to do. I was like, I didn't wake up my mother or sisters because I don't want to, as I always depend on myself to make. I don't know. I didn't wake them up. So I went up, and then at 1:30, 2 o'clock, I called this person, my bestie, and I was telling him, I don't know what to do. I was so fearful. I don't know, like I'm not able to even talk. So that time, I think he prayed. He never prayed out. I don't know what he was praying. He asked me to say Amen. He asked me to say Amen. I said, no, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it because I don't know what does that mean. I don't know what that meant to me for my heart. I didn't say it. Then he prayed. I think he prayed, and after a couple of minutes I was okay. And then I went down. Okay, even before that I was listening to his conversations over the phone about he's strengthening me, he's giving his love, and his heart is there, and he's talking about lot of Bible words indirectly, not directly, because I don't accept the Christianity in my life, right? That's the rule. That's the rule. I don't want to do it. So he knows that. He never put me directly to the Bible words. He never put me directly to the Bible stories. So he always talks to me in a direct, but I was pulled to. I was some one day I still remember I was asking him, why don't you talk about your God? I wanted to listen. I feel happy when I listen. So he started talking about it. I used to enjoy. So this was happening. This was happening. And that night, the attack, whatever the night happened, the morning I woke up around like 7 o'clock morning. I went to terrace to do my my breath work, whatever, the followed by some kind of meditation, just to sit and close my eyes. So that is the first time God has touched me. God has touched me. Like I was sitting, I was even before that, I was trying to close my eyes. Even before that, there is some voice inside of me telling that go up on the terrace, like the topest floor, jump from there. Just go and jump, go and jump, go. It was like something is provoking me to do that. Something is telling me so hard. I can hear that. I could hear that. Just jump, jump, jump. It's like lot of fear. It's not a anxiety attacks. It's a fear. It's a fear. It's a very strong fear. For the first time, I came to know the difference of the fear and the anxiety attack. So, but I'm forcing myself to close my eyes just to sit down. I'm forcing. Why can't, no, 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 this is not, this is not. So I closed my eyes after like, 5 or 6 minutes. Then I, it was so mesmerized experience I had. A love of hug. I don't know what that was. I was in my tears. I was weeping, but not with any sadness. It was so happily. I was like crying. My tears were like coming down completely. I think I was touched by something, like, some hug of happiness. It was, I felt it so hard. I'm not able to come out of that. Other side of my mind is saying, like, is this something here? I am making it, like, I'm making up, right? So I want to try it to open my eyes. I'm not able to. I'm like forcefully trying, but nothing is happening. After, I think, 20 or 25 minutes, I wanted to, like, move from that position, right? I stood up. I stood up. Then again, it made me to sit down. I sat down. Again, that same experience was continued for, like, 20 more minutes. It was overall, like, almost like 45 minutes to 1 hour of experience. I was in bliss of that bliss of joy. I, no figures, nothing. Just a bliss of joy, bliss of joy. Even that time, I have no clue who the Christ is. I don't know who that bliss of joy, how that bliss of joy came to me. But after that, I came down. I called my bestie, and it was a video call. I was like so happy. My face is, like, so much shining, and I was so happy that I was sharing this experience. He's like, I could see that God has touched you. I could see that. Then I said, no, that's okay. I don't want to hear anything, because I was in that kind of a joy. So I went down, and my kids were, like, looking at me, like, what happened, why? And I was telling, I don't know what happened, like, but I was crying, I was weeping, I was, like, in the joy. I was like, keep talking, like, but it's a glory to God now. I wanted to say, it's my God, my Jesus Christ has first time he touched me. That time I have no clue. It's him, but it's a glory to his name, glory to him.